The silence was absolute, an unyielding void that pressed against the walls of the cryo chamber with an almost tangible force. As the last wisps of cryogenic fog dissipated, a row of cryopods hummed softly, their lids sliding open in a synchronized ballet of hissing hydraulics and blinking lights. Inside one of these pods, a figure stirred, their breath fogging up the glass as consciousness slowly reclaimed them from the depths of suspended animation. Commander Maya Larson blinked against the soft glow of the pod's internal lighting, her mind grappling with the cobwebs of a sleep that had spanned millennia. Her body protested with stiffness and a dull ache that pervaded every muscle. She remembered the plan as if it were a dream, humanity's last-ditch effort to escape a dying Earth, the selection of a few thousand souls to brave the unknown in hopes of a second chance. "System status," she croaked, her voice a raspy echo in the compact chamber. The onboard AI, dormant for ages, flickered to life at her command. "Welcome back, Commander Larson. Today's date is March 14th, 502,020 AD. All systems operational. No human activity detected for the last 500,000 years." The words hung in the air, stark and surreal. Maya swung her legs over the side of the pod, her feet touching the cold metal floor. She glanced around, noting that the other pods in her unit were also opening, their occupants similarly dazed and disoriented. "What happened while we were asleep?" she asked, pulling herself to her feet and steadying herself against the pod. "Data is incomplete," the AI responded. "Major geological and climatic changes detected. Satellite systems largely non-functional. Re-establishing global communications network." The rest of her team, specialists in various fields, biology, geology, engineering, and more, gathered around, their expressions a mix of awe and fear. Dr. Hiro Tanaka, the mission's chief geologist, approached Maya, his gaze intense. "We need to assess our location and the condition of the planet," he said. "Everything has changed. We are effectively aliens on our own world." Together, they stepped out of the cryo chamber into the control room, where walls lined with monitors and equipment blinked to life. Outside, the viewports revealed a landscape utterly transformed. Lush greenery encroached on the edges of what used to be a high-tech facility. Vines crept up the walls, and in the distance, strange towering trees punctuated the horizon. "It's beautiful," murmured Dr. Eva Sanchez, the team's botanist, her eyes wide with wonder and scientific curiosity. "But is it safe?" added Marcus Lee, security chief, ever the pragmatist. "We don't know what's out there. Fauna, flora, it could all be dangerous." Maya nodded, her mind racing with the logistics of their survival and the mission's goals. "First, we secure the perimeter and establish a base camp. Then, we start reconnaissance. We have to understand our environment if we're to find a way to sustain a new human civilization here." As they organized into teams, each person donned their survival gear, the reality of their situation sinking in. They were no longer just survivors, they were pioneers on a planet that had evolved without humans for 500,000 years. What mysteries lay buried in this new Earth? What remnants of the old world could still influence their future? Stepping outside, the air was fresh, tinged with the scent of unknown flowers. The sun, slightly dimmer than Maya remembered, cast long shadows across a landscape that seemed both alien and inviting. As the group moved towards the dense tree line, Maya felt a mixture of dread and excitement. This was their new beginning, a chance to rewrite humanity's story. The challenges would be immense, but so would the opportunities. As they disappeared into the undergrowth, the ancient silent world seemed to watch, breathless with anticipation. As the team ventured deeper into the verdant wilderness, the forest revealed its secrets in whispers and rustles. The foliage, dense and vibrant, was unlike anything documented in Earth's historical botanical archives. Eva, with her keen eye for plant life, cataloged the species using the portable AI scanner, her excitement palpable. "This flora is highly advanced, possibly due to uninterrupted evolution," she noted, examining a leaf almost translucent, its veins shimmering with a subtle bioluminescence. "Some of these plants could be producing their own energy in ways we've yet to understand." Meanwhile, Hiro and his assistant, Jenna, analyzed the soil and rock formations. The ground beneath their feet was rich with unfamiliar minerals, sparkling under the scanner's light. The geological shifts might have exposed new mineral deposits, Hero theorized, chipping away at a brightly colored boulder. These could be critical for rebuilding technology. The team's progress was slow, hindered not just by the physical obstacles of the undergrowth, but by the sheer novelty of their surroundings. Each step forward was taken with caution. Every new plant or animal encountered was a potential threat, or a potential resource. Marcus led the security detail, his drone hovering above, mapping their path and scouting for dangers. The drone's feed showed clearings ahead, and occasionally the fleeting shadows of creatures too quick to identify. Suddenly, the drone beeped a warning, its camera focusing on a large, moving shape. "Something big up ahead," Marcus warned, signaling the team to halt. They gathered, watching the live feed on a portable monitor. The creature, covered in scales that reflected the sun's light in iridescent colors, moved with a grace that belied its size. "It's not aggressive," Eva observed, her voice a mix of awe and caution. "Look at the way it's moving, almost like it's curious about the drone." Deciding the risk was manageable, Maya gave the nod to proceed. They approached the clearing cautiously, where the creature, undisturbed, continued to graze on high-hanging fruits. It was a moment of connection across species, a silent acknowledgement of coexistence. As the day waned, the team found a suitable spot for their base camp near a stream with clear water. The engineers, led by Annika Patel, began assembling the habitat units, compact structures designed for quick deployment. "We need to set up solar collectors and start the water purification systems," Annika directed, her team unpacking the equipment. "Once we have power and water, we'll be able to start the greenhouse and get some crops going." The camp buzzed with activity, everyone contributing to the establishment of their new home. As night fell, the forest around them came alive with sounds. The calls of nocturnal creatures and the rustling of leaves in a gentle breeze. It was alien, yet undeniably earthly, this melody of life continuing as it had for millennia, without human ears to hear it. In the safety of their habitat, the team gathered for a meal, their first together on this new earth. The food, simple and nourishing, was a reminder of their long journey and the challenges ahead. "We've made it this far," Maya said, looking around at her team, faces lit by the soft interior light. "Tomorrow, we explore further. There's a whole world out there waiting for us to discover it." As they settled for the night, the reality of their situation settled in deeper. They were alone, a small flicker of human presence in a vast, untamed world. But within that realization was a spark of something else. Hope, perhaps, or the simple yet profound joy of discovery. Outside, the night deepened, the stars blazing in the sky, undimmed by human-made light. And beneath those ancient stars, a new chapter in human history quietly unfolded, written not in words, but in the living, breathing testament of their survival. In the early hours of morning, the team awoke to an unexpected chill, a reminder of the planet's unfamiliar rhythms. The habitat's climate control systems adjusted slowly, compensating for the drop in temperature. Maya, always first to rise, stepped outside, her breath visible in the cool air. The quiet of dawn was punctuated by the distant call of an unknown bird, its song both haunting and beautiful. Eva joined her, clutching a steaming mug. "The night temperatures are lower than our models predicted," she remarked, scanning the horizon. "It might affect how we plan our crop cycles." "Noted," Maya responded, her mind already cataloging the implications. "Let's adjust our greenhouse protocols accordingly." As the sun rose, casting long shadows over the land, the team set out to explore beyond their initial landing site. The terrain varied dramatically, from dense forests to sprawling meadows dotted with flowers emitting a faint luminescence, lighting their path in the dim light. Their destination was a ridge Hero had spotted on satellite images, promising a vantage point to survey the surrounding area. The climb was steep, the ground beneath them scattered with crystalline rocks that crunched underfoot. At the summit, the view opened up. Vast swathes of unexplored land stretched out before them, wild and inviting. Hero set up his equipment, a series of sensors and scanners designed to map the topography and composition of the landscape. This ridge could serve as a natural barrier against weather or predators, he suggested. Plus, the mineral content here is unusual. I'm detecting elements that don't match our geological database. Meanwhile, Marcus, ever vigilant, scanned the horizon with high-powered binoculars. Movement in the underbrush caught his attention. A flash of color, then stillness. "We're not alone up here," he muttered, focusing the lens. A creature resembling a large feline but with scales like a reptile watched them cautiously from a distance. "Let's keep our distance but record as much data as we can," Maya instructed, watching the creature through Marcus's binoculars. It seemed curious, its eyes reflecting a deep intelligence. The team spent hours on the ridge, recording data and observing the flora and fauna. Eva collected samples of plants whose properties could be medicinal or nutritious, while Anika tested communication signals, attempting to boost their range. As they prepared to return to camp, a sudden storm rolled in, dark clouds swallowing the sky with alarming speed. The team hurried down the ridge, the wind whipping around them, carrying strange scents and the promise of rain. They reached the camp just as the first drops fell, heavy and cold. Inside, they huddled around the main console, watching as the storm unleashed its fury on the landscape. Anika checked the habitat's integrity while Eva analyzed the rainwater, finding it surprisingly pure but with a slight acidic tinge. "This planet is full of surprises," Eva said, her eyes on the water sample. "Every test we run, every hypothesis, we're rewriting the textbooks." Maya nodded, watching the storm through the window. The rain eased into a gentle drizzle, and the air smelled of wet earth and new growth. "Tomorrow, we'll need to check for any damage. But also, let's see how the land responds after a rain like this. It might teach us how to better manage our resources." The team agreed, their spirits undampened by the weather. They were pioneers after all, and each challenge was an opportunity to learn. The morning after the storm, the world seemed reborn, the air crisp and the landscape glistening with moisture. Leaves and flowers had unfurled, larger and more vibrant than before, as if the rain had been laced with life itself. The team set out early, navigating the slick terrain with care, their path lit by the sun's new light filtering through a fresher, clearer atmosphere. Hero led the way to the ridge, his scanners beeping periodically as they recorded subtle changes in the environment post-storm. "It's as if the rain activated certain dormant aspects of the flora here," he noted, pointing to a cluster of bushes that had sprouted new buds overnight. "Rapid growth like this could mean the ecosystem is highly adaptive." Eva collected samples, her face alight with the thrill of discovery. These adaptations could be a response to environmental stressors. It's possible these plants have evolved mechanisms for quick recovery and growth following weather events, she hypothesized, sealing a leaf sample in a specimen container. As they reached the base of the ridge, Marcus's drone sent back alerts of movement in a nearby thicket. The scaled feline creature from the previous day emerged, its coat a shimmering spectrum in the sunlight. This time it was accompanied by two smaller, similarly scaled creatures, juveniles, perhaps its offspring. The team paused, maintaining a respectful distance as they observed the family. "Their behavior might provide insights into the local fauna's social structures," Marcus whispered, recording the encounter. "Notice the protective stance. It's wary but not overtly aggressive." Maya watched, fascinated. "Document everything. Interactions like these are key to understanding our place here. We need to coexist with these species, not dominate them." The day passed with more mapping and data collection. Anika worked on enhancing their communication relays, managing to send a stronger signal back to their orbiting satellite, which had been intermittently collecting data from other parts of the planet. "With this boost, we might be able to access other research outposts' findings, see if they've encountered similar phenomena," Anika reported, her hands flying over the console. Returning to camp, the team discussed their findings over a communal dinner. The atmosphere was buoyant. The thrill of the unknown infused every conversation. They discussed strategies for further exploration and debated the ethical implications of their presence on the planet. Late into the evening, as the camp settled down, Maya remained outside, her eyes on the stars. The constellations were unfamiliar, a stark reminder of their distance from Earth. Yet here, under this alien sky, they were laying the groundwork for a profound connection with this world. The night deepened, and the forest's nocturnal chorus grew louder, a symphony of otherworldly cries and whispers. Unseen creatures called to one another, their voices weaving through the trees, creating a tapestry of sound that was both eerie and comforting. Inside her habitat, Maya reviewed the day's logs, the data streams painting a picture of a world teeming with life and possibilities. Each entry was a testament to their progress and a beacon for their next steps. Sleep was elusive as her mind raced with plans and possibilities. Tomorrow, they would venture further, perhaps towards those distant mountains that had lined the horizon, their snowy peaks a stark contrast against the lush greenery. There, they might uncover more secrets of this planet, each discovery a stepping stone towards understanding their new home. And so, beneath the watchful gaze of untold stars, the night marched on, carrying with it dreams of what the morning would bring. The expedition to the distant mountains required preparations unlike any the team had undertaken before. The terrain promised to be rugged, the environment potentially more hostile. Maya organized the team into specialized groups. Marcus and his security team would scout ahead. Hiro and Eva would analyze geological and biological samples, respectively. And Annika would handle communications and logistics, ensuring they remained in contact with the base camp. As dawn broke, a caravan of all-terrain rovers rolled out from the camp, loaded with equipment and supplies. The landscape changed as they moved away from the forest, transitioning into rolling hills and then steeper inclines. The air grew cooler as they ascended, the greenery giving way to rockier outcrops. "This altitude is revealing entirely different ecosystems," Eva observed, stopping to collect samples of moss and lichen that seemed to glow subtly in the daylight. These species might be adapted to lower temperatures and higher radiation levels from the sun. Hiro, meanwhile, was absorbed in the geological formations, his scanner beeping frequently. "There's a pattern to the rock strata here that suggests seismic activity in the past, possibly still active. This could explain some of the mineral anomalies we've been seeing." The higher they climbed, the more the mysteries of the mountain unfolded. Marcus reported back on a cave system that appeared to run deep into the mountain. "It looks natural, but I swear some of these openings seem almost shaped," he relayed over the comm, his camera feed displaying the angular, precise nature of the cave entrances. Intrigued by Marcus's findings, Maya decided to redirect the group to explore the caves. Inside, the air was cool and damp, the walls shimmering with mineral deposits that cast eerie reflections of their lights. The caves branched off in several directions, creating a labyrinthine network. "Let's map as much as we can," Maya directed, her voice echoing slightly in the vast space. "But stay within signal range. We don't want anyone getting lost in here." Deep within the caves, Ava's excitement was palpable. She discovered a series of bioluminescent fungi, their light a soft blue hue. "These could be a new species, possibly even a new genus," she speculated, carefully documenting their location and characteristics. The exploration continued, the team drawn deeper by the allure of the unknown. Their lights danced across ancient rock formations, revealing paintings and markings that startled them all. The drawings depicted figures that resembled humans, engaged with creatures like the scaled felines they had encountered. "These could be thousands, maybe millions of years old," Hiro whispered, his usual composure shaken. "It suggests a history of interaction between intelligent species here long before we arrived." The implications of their discovery were profound, sparking a flurry of debate and theory among the team. Were these earlier humans? Or another species entirely? Eva wondered aloud, her mind racing with the scientific and philosophical ramifications. The journey back to camp was quiet, each member of the team lost in thought, processing the day's discoveries. The mountains had provided them with incredible insights, but also with more questions than answers. Back at camp, as they gathered to share their findings and plan their next steps, the mood was one of cautious excitement. Annika successfully boosted their data transmission back to the satellite, ensuring that their discoveries were recorded and sent to the orbiting database. As the stars emerged, the team sat outside watching the night sky, the air filled with the scent of alien flowers and the cooling earth. They discussed the ancient artworks, hypothesizing. The next morning, the team was ready to delve further into the mysteries of the mountain. With new protocols and equipment tailored for deep cave exploration, they set out at dawn, the air crisp and filled with a palpable sense of anticipation. Maya led the group back to the cave entrance, the stark outlines of the mountains casting long shadows on their path. The team moved with purpose, energized by the previous day's findings. Once inside, they split into two groups, one led by Marcus to ensure their security and survey the perimeter, and the other led by Maya, focusing on the deeper caverns and the cryptic drawings. Deep within the caves, the air grew cooler, and the walls narrowed. Their lights revealed more extensive markings and artifacts, tools made from bone and stone, remnants of old fires, and more depictions of the humanoid figures interacting with the local wildlife. Hero carefully dated the carbon residue from the fires, finding them to be older than any human civilization on record. This might suggest a civilization that thrived here independently of Earth's known history, Hero said, his voice echoing off the cave walls. Perhaps we're not the first from Earth to venture out into the stars, or maybe, just maybe, these were native beings. As they ventured further, Ava collected samples of the cave's ecosystem, finding life forms that thrived in the absence of sunlight. Blind fish in underground streams, insects with carapaces that reflected their torchlight, and more of the luminescent fungi. Annika, meanwhile, set up temporary relay stations to maintain communication with the surface. Signals are strong and stable, she reported, ensuring that data continued flowing back to camp and then to the satellite overhead. In one of the deeper chambers, Marcus halted, signaling for silence. Ahead of them, the cave opened into a vast cavern, its ceiling lost to darkness. But it was the center of the chamber that captured their attention. A structure unmistakably artificial, its surfaces smooth and reflective, unlike the rough natural rock around it. This doesn't look like it was made by the civilization that left the cave paintings, Marcus observed, his voice low. It's too advanced. Maya approached the structure cautiously, her hand hesitating before touching the cool metal surface. It could be a leftover from a technologically advanced species, possibly the same ones who interacted with the earlier inhabitants, she theorized. The team set up equipment to analyze the structure. Initial scans indicated it was not only metallic but composed of materials not found anywhere on Earth, embedded with circuits and possibly dormant technology. Could it be a beacon or a data storage device? Annika mused as she interfaced her equipment with the structure. Moments later, the cavern was filled with light as the structure activated, projecting holographic data streams into the air around them. They watched in awe as images and symbols floated before them, some depicting star systems, others showing complex chemical structures and mathematical equations. We need to record every bit of this, Maya said, her team already capturing the holograms with their equipment. This is a library, a gift left by whoever called this planet home before us. The day turned to evening as they continued to document the ancient archive. When they finally exited the cave, the stars were bright overhead, the galaxy itself seeming to watch them with a knowing gaze. Back at camp, the team gathered, energized by their discovery. They shared their findings, each member contributing pieces to the puzzle. The implications were staggering. Here was proof of alien intelligence, of a history intertwined with the cosmos, offering not just scientific knowledge but also a profound connection to the universe.